I always thought our home was peaceful. My husband, Daniel, worked long hours, and his son, Evan, was quiet but polite. We weren't the perfect blended family, but I believed we were finding our rhythm. Then, small things began to unsettle me. Evan stopped joining us for dinner. Daniel would hush conversations when I entered the room. Laughter behind closed doors, abrupt silences when I asked what was funny. It started to feel like I was the outsider in my own home. One evening, I noticed Daniel's phone buzzing on the counter. A message flashed. She suspects something. My stomach twisted. The sender's name was hidden, just initials. I froze. Evan's initials. I told myself it had to be a coincidence, maybe a work message, maybe a friend. Still, the pit in my stomach wouldn't leave. That night, I pretended to sleep while Daniel whispered on the phone in the hallway. I caught fragments, words like, "don't tell her," and "keep it between us." The next day, I searched for explanations. Maybe Daniel was planning a surprise, maybe I was paranoid. But then I saw a notebook on the living room table, Evan's handwriting, pages filled with anger and confusion. There were entries about his father's secrets, about lies told to her. I didn't know if her meant me, but I felt my chest tighten. When I asked Daniel about the messages, his face changed, defensive, sharp, the warmth gone. He said I was overthinking, that I needed to trust the family. The word family felt like a weapon. Something inside me snapped that night. I realized whatever they were hiding, it wasn't small. And for the first time, I stopped trying to protect the peace and started searching for the truth. Daniel's dismissive tone haunted me all night. The next morning, I couldn't look at him the same. Every word he spoke sounded rehearsed, like someone reading from a script. I noticed he guarded his phone now, carrying it everywhere, even to the shower. Evan avoided eye contact, and whenever I entered the room, he'd quickly put away his laptop. The tension grew unbearable. I decided to confront Daniel directly. I told him I knew there was something he wasn't telling me, something involving Evan. His eyes narrowed. He laughed bitterly and said I was creating drama, that I should stop snooping. The more he denied it, the more certain I became that I was right. He turned it around, accusing me of being distant and cold, claiming I was the reason Evan felt uncomfortable at home. That accusation cut deep. For years I'd tried to be patient, to give Evan space, to be the calm one between father and son. Now Daniel made it sound like I was the problem. I started collecting proof quietly. Phone records, strange receipts, fragments of conversations I jotted down in my notes app. The pattern was there: late-night calls, hidden cash withdrawals, and weekends that didn't match his work schedule. Evan began to act guilty, too gentle in a way that felt like pity. Once, I overheard him whisper to Daniel, "She's going to find out." That single sentence shattered any remaining trust. When I confronted Daniel again, his face twisted with anger. He shouted that I was paranoid, that I needed help. But then he slipped. He said, "You weren't supposed to see that message." My heart stopped. That confession, brief as it was, told me everything. They'd both been hiding something real, and I was done letting them rewrite my sanity. I couldn't keep pretending anymore. Every corner of the house felt heavy with lies. My mind replayed Daniel's slip over and over. "You weren't supposed to see that message." It confirmed what I already knew. I had been excluded, deceived, and treated like a fool in my own home. I decided to dig deeper, not for revenge, but for clarity. I needed the truth, even if it broke me. I checked our shared bank account again and noticed several large transfers to an unknown name. Tracing them led me to a rented storage unit under Daniel's signature. I visited it alone. Inside were boxes of documents, old letters, photographs, and files. The contents didn't reveal infidelity in a romantic sense, but something equally cruel. Daniel had been lying about his finances for years, hiding debt, using Evan's name to open credit accounts, and forging signatures to protect his image. My stepson had found out and was helping him cover it up. The secret they shared wasn't about love, it was about survival and manipulation. The betrayal hit deeper than I expected. It wasn't just about money, it was about how they both chose silence over honesty. I realized Evan wasn't protecting me, he was trapped too, following his father's orders. When I confronted him, his eyes filled with guilt, not defiance. He admitted he wanted to tell me the truth, but didn't know how without tearing the family apart. That moment crushed me. I saw in him the same fear I once had, the fear of Daniel's control. Walking away from that confrontation, I felt hollow. My marriage was a performance, my family a lie. The worst part wasn't losing them. It was realizing I never truly had them in the first place. After that day, everything moved in slow motion. Daniel tried to pretend nothing had happened, as if silence could erase the truth I'd uncovered. I stopped arguing, stopped asking questions. The calmness scared him more than my anger ever did. Inside, I was already gone. I opened a blank Reddit account one night and began typing everything: the confusion, the lies, the exhaustion of trying to hold a family together alone. It wasn't revenge. I just needed someone to listen without twisting my words. Within hours, the post exploded. People I'd never met told me what I couldn't tell myself: that betrayal isn't always physical, that emotional manipulation leaves deeper scars. Reading their comments was painful and freeing at once. For the first time, I didn't feel crazy. Daniel eventually found out about the post. He demanded I delete it, threatened to sue me for defamation. I laughed for the first time in months. What was left to protect? Our image? His pride? I packed my things quietly, taking only what I'd earned. Evan stood at the door when I left, eyes down, whispering, "I'm sorry." I told him to forgive himself, not me. He was just another victim of Daniel's control, not the enemy I once imagined. The night I drove away, the house disappeared in the rearview mirror like a shadow dissolving. I didn't cry. There was nothing left to mourn. Some stories don't end with closure, they end with acceptance. Betrayal doesn't always destroy you, sometimes it rebuilds you. I learned that peace isn't found in keeping the family together, it's found in choosing yourself when the truth finally breaks you free.